Howdy there, folks. This is Lapidary Dave, and right now I will be cutting one of these two beautiful pieces of celestite, blue celestite that is. Also goes by the name Celestine or Celestina. This material was actually sold to me with the name Celestina, Blue Celestina. I bought it at the Tucson Gem and Mineral Show 2018, earlier this year, from this gentleman, Ahmed Camera. He was vending at the Tucson Gem and Mineral Show at the Kino Electric Park, where I vend. I also bought my prenite from him, or frenite, I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce that, but he couldn't tell me much about this. I'd never seen it before, I've never even heard of it before. I went ahead and bought two pieces. I cut this piece in half. I cabbed the other piece. I paid $7 for these two pieces, plus the piece that I cut off. And I was a little discouraged. I didn't think I would ever make a video of Blue Celestite, at the time Blue Celestina, because I knew nothing about it. I couldn't spell it, because I couldn't even remember how it was said. But two friends of mine earlier this month showed me some crystallized blue celestite, and I knew that's what it was. This is definitely the cab grade, where my friend's material was clusters of crystallized blue celestite. Now I looked it up a little bit, actually right before making this video, and I saw that it was being called Celestina, so it definitely confirmed it for me. That's what I bought. The slice that I took off of here and polished absolutely surprised me, because this material is very tough. I was not expecting it from this material, and before I could remember the name, I was convinced that this was some kind of agate. It might be, I don't know. It's definitely much harder than quartz. Works more like an agate or a jasper. I don't remember exactly what its hardness was about. I would say it's about as hard as nephrite jade. At least this particular variety. All that shiny stuff there is not microcrystallines. Those are like, it's the cleavage from where this stone must have broken off from a larger stone. All this brown is not surface dirt. That's stuff inside of the stone. I really like that stuff. I love how dirty this one looks. It's almost green and really dark blue. From what I've seen online, perhaps this one is a higher quality piece, where this one might be an average quality. I have seen some really pale pieces, smaller than this, go for $40 cabbed or in jewelry. So I feel $7 as a learning experience, that definitely paid off. Awesome. I will be working this piece. I won't be hitting the whole thing. I'll just be flattening this up and windowing it. I might just window it and sell it as is. Perhaps someone like a wire wrapper could appreciate it, or just someone who wants a window into a beautiful piece of blue celestite. Anyway, I'll be starting with a flat lap, 60 and 180 grit before I hop on over to my easy cab. Awesome. I heard this stone is the stone of inner beauty. Helps you find the beauty in everything, which I love the idea of. Anyway, folks, I'm going to get started. Alright, folks, here's a beautiful piece of blue celestite. Here's the side that I'm going to be windowing. This is the side that I cut with a trim saw. It's pretty sloppy, but that's alright. Again, I won't be cabbing this or anything. I'll leave that natural cleavage and such. The only tricky spot is this little fracture right here. Even though I licked this flat, I think that's still going to be there. It's not bad, it's just a little unsightly. Anyway, I'm going to start with the 60, move over to 180, before I hop over to the cabbing machine. I may finish the whole thing one day, but in the meantime, I'm just going to window this and try to explain it to you. I do remember this being as hard or more hard than agate. Very, very, very tough material. Alrighty, let's get started. Alright folks, here is the side that I windowed. This stone in particular doesn't feel harder than agate, but about on par. A very thirsty stone at 180 grit. Here's the side I'm leaving raw. Fantastic, I love those black spots. And rough, it looks very pale. Nothing really to write home about. Wet, you could see a little bit more of a character in play. There's a band of dark blue that goes right through here, and this is a little bit milkier. Reminds me a lot of a agate or a quartzite or something, but a lot more dynamic, more lustrous, a lot harder. Love the black spots. So this is roughly my preform. I've been thinking about drilling this to wear it, perhaps to get some of the medicine. Ever so slightly translucent. Perhaps we'll see more of that when I'm done. Anyway, that's a lot of fun. I did round down this bottom here. That's because there was some cleavage there, and I didn't want to leave it exposed on the face. I hit the side to make it appear larger from the side. And the side that I was worried about isn't looking half bad. Anyway, onto the cabbing machine. And then I will be deciding what to do with this bad girl. Alright folks, here's a beautiful piece of celestite. I'm going to go ahead and start licking this with the 280. I don't expect it to take long at all. I love the black in there. Those little spots. I should have maybe have done the yellow side because I would have liked to seen that worked a little bit. Beautiful material. I'm not a crystal medicine person, but I definitely feel this stone. Fantastic. Okay folks, here's a beautiful piece of blue celestite, Blue Celestina. One thing worth mentioning is if you see those spots right there, those are actually not scratches or fissures. That's that speckly white material coming through the top. I don't know what that's called. It's kind of shiny. I believe sometimes it's referred to as chatoyance. I'm not 100% sure if I'm saying that right, but nephrite jade, jadeite jade, some labradorites, phrenite, I don't know how to pronounce that, sometimes have these plumes, I guess of chatoyance, I believe that's what you say it again, and it makes it very misleading. you know, to a beginner, someone would, well, even to me, I thought those were scratches or like pocks or fissures or something. But that's natural. It's either softer or harder than the rest of the blue celestite, which is why it really stands out like that. But that's why we're here on Lapidary Time. We're here to learn a little bit about the material. I could stay here all day trying to remove those spots, but they would never come out at this grit. They will shine up though. The first time I carved nephrite jade on lower grits and prehnite phrenite, they would have these random sparkly pieces inside the material, and I didn't know why I couldn't get rid of those scratches that were here and there. A lot of times I will grind so that the scratches go one way. So if I see anything going the other way, I know I missed a spot. So when everything is going in here and there, and you don't know it's because of the material, it's very frustrating. Anyway, so yeah, that stuff's going to shine up. This is 280, already looking shiny. I could easily burnish this and be done with it. This is such a hard stone. I'm starting to feel like I'm taking it back. It's not as hard as most agates. It does feel to be about as hard as that plume agate, which is one of the softest agates I've ever carved. Definitely softer than jaspers and nephrite jade and jadeite jade. Harder than, I believe, the amethyst from Africa that I've been carving, though. Anyway, on to the 600. Alright folks, here's that beautiful piece of celestite at only 600 grit. Super glassy, super glossy. Again, I could easily burnish this and be done. This piece is fantastic. A little bit of the yellow is bleeding through the top. I really like that. I enjoy the colors. That's where the medicine is. Bam! Love it. I can't dry off the back very well. I feel like the cleavage holds onto the water a little bit better than the polished side does. Got it a little bit wet there, excuse me. Here we go. Bam. Onto the 1200. Alright folks, this is 1200 grit dry. Just over the top. Fantastic. The black spots remind me a little bit of the black spots you may see in Montana agate. Those weird Celestine spots are still a little bit on the surface, but as you can see, they're taking a fantastic polish, and they may be absolutely unnoticeable by the time I get done. The spot that had that little piece of cleavage right there that I didn't like, I still don't like. I just don't want anybody to be to mistake it for like a saw mark or something, but that's just kind of where it broke naturally, and I didn't dig deep enough to get it out. Because I was appreciating the natural beauty, right? That's what the stone's all about. I love it. Fantastic. Whew. Anyway, on to 3,000. Then we're going to go to 14,000. After that, I'll do a quick test to see which is leaving a finer finish, my compound or my 14,000 grit. I won't show that on camera, but I'll let you know. Anyway, 3,000 grit. Check that out, folks. 3,000 grit, looking incredible. Love the yellow up there. The spot I was worried about definitely don't have any feelings towards anymore. Bam! The chatoyant spot or whatnot is looking absolutely fantastic. It's going to get even better, folks. I'm going to take this to 14,000 and then burnish this. Whichever leaves a higher luster finish, I will leave it at. That chatoyance looks so good at 3,000. Whew. Anyway. Awesome. Just over the top. Fantastic. Okay, folks, here's that beautiful stone. Finished at 14,000 grit, and then I burnished it. It seemed to take both polishes pretty well. If you see, you may see like little lines here and there. That's actually from my finger grease. Just me touching this, as you can see right there. Just me touching this at such a high finish leaves greasy marks. Sorry about that. Again, the black up here totally reminds me of like Montana agate. I love it. This is the spot I was worried about. Don't mind anymore. Totally over the top. I love this material now. I've never carved it before. Like I said, I've actually just kind of heard of this material. The chatoyance spots almost look metallic when it's coming through the top. A gentleman who showed me my first piece, a gentleman and lady actually, of crystallized, like crystal formation celestite. I believe he said that the chemical that turns it blue begins with a B. I wonder if it's metallic, because it sure looks metallic, the white spots right there. Again, all of those lines are my finger grease. Sorry about that. Anyway, I highly suggest this material to beginner lapidaries. It just carves fantastically, perhaps just a little bit easier than agate, or at least most common agates. It's a good way to get such a fantastic blue, fantastic medicine. I will be going back. Ahmed or Ahmed Kamara or Kamara, I apologize for my pronunciation. Anyway, thank you folks for joining me while I carve this beautiful piece of blue celestite, blue celestina, blue celestine, celestia. Love you folks. See you next time.